My name's Major Sumner. Everyone knows me as Moogie. I have had that name from when I was a baby, I think. And I'm a Ngarinjiri. My mum's people come from the Ghana Plains, so that makes me Ngarinjiri Ghana. And I grew up along the Kurang. I grew up down at Raukan on Lake Alexandrina. And down Millicent, down the southeast, so we travelled all over the place, Narracourt and everywhere. It means everything to me. It means it's a part of who I am. Who I am, what I represent, what I tell people about this land that looked after us, looked after my people for thousands and thousands of years. We have to look after it now. And that's why I do a lot of the stuff I do, the dancing, the traveling around, the talking, the dancing at different parts of the River Murray, the Darling, and all that. So, yeah, it means a lot to me. Life was on Raukan, and this is how my brother put it. My brother said, you know, when he grew up there, and I thought about it, he said, it was like paradise. And I thought about it and I said, yeah, it was, because we had everything there. We had everything there, but also what we had there was we was on our own land. We didn't got taken from one land and put over to another place. It was our land where we lived, where we run around as children, where we were born. We were born in Ngarinjiri country. And just by being there and living there and growing up and all the stories that come with it, even the story behind me here, with Narundri up in the Milky Way. The story starts up in the Darling, right up at Wentworth to the Murray and the Darling River. The story starts there. So when we talk about our land, we talk about the land, the culture, the rivers, the trees, everything, because that's a part of who we are, where our spirit is, where our spirit belongs is there. The spirit of who we are, the river, spirit of the trees. And I've done a lot of art with wood. I've cut bark canoes out of trees. I've cut the shields out of the trees. I've done everything to keep my culture going and teaching people and teaching young people, because I learned from my elders. I learned from my uncles and my dad. Now it's time for me to hand that on to other young people. I went right through my life doing all this, making spears, throwing boomerangs, making the boomerangs, doing all sorts of things. That's what the country means to me. It means of who I am and what my job is at the end of the day, is to hand that down to young people so that they learn and they get the stories about the land. We should be taking them out there and showing them, this is the story about this part of the country. This is the story about this one over here. There's another story. So what we want to do is take people there to show them, this is where this story comes from. This one behind me, this is about the Milky Way. This is about the Murray and the Darling, but also all the way down from Wentworth all the way to Victor Harbour, to the club, the bluff, the Plongi, the Ngarinjiri Plongi there. That's Narundri's club when he threw it on the ground. It formed the bluff. when he threw the spears into the sea, the Kaiki, it called what they call now Granite Island. And he brought the rivers up, he brought the water up and all the water that come down. And then his wives drowned. That's the Pages Islands, that's his wives. And he traveled all along, all the way down. So then when he finished with his bark canoe, he put it up in the night sky. And that formed and made the Milky Way. So that's only one story. There's all that involved in it. So when we tell them stories, it'd be good to act them out. And we do that when we do the river ceremony. We dance down the river. It takes us about 10 days to get from sometime Burke, Albury Wodonga, all the way to the Murray mouth. Our last ceremony is at the mouth, but we travel all the way down and we sleep at every place that we dance. And that ceremony is there, the dancing is there, the stories are there. That's told by the traditional owners of them lands where we travel. And we bring some of them traditional owners with us down to the mouth so that they can dance there. And they bring that energy, they bring that spirit, and their healing spirit all the way down to the mouth. So that's what we do that for. But the last, 2010 we started. But it's a ceremony that's been going for thousands of years. But we just brought it back. Me and my wife and my children and that, we started that up again. We talked about it. I said, well, it's about time we done it. Time we start getting that ceremony going again. And we started it up and we traveled. Me and her and our children, our grandchildren, traveled all the way up to Cunnamulla in Queensland, to the Kneebind Creek. And we started dancing there because the Kneebind Creek is one of the contributors to the Darling. So all that, we followed it all the way down from Cunnamulla, other side of Cunnamulla, a place called Murra. We danced from there all the way to the Murray mouth. And that took us, say, about 10 days. So that's just one of them that we do. And we can do that over and over again, every year. The thing that stopped us for the last couple of years was the COVID. And that's, like everything else, it stopped everything else. But I was thinking about doing it from the border down, even going to Renmark and bringing it down, doing the ceremony all the way down to the Murray mouth from Renmark.